Hello everyone, I'm Chris with Cali Moto TV. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to On Any Moto. Our good friends here have a Ducati Desert X that we're gonna go and take for a ride. I don't think we'll take it through the dirt, so I won't do it too much justice, but we're gonna give a little ride and then come back, talk about some of the cool features, some of the things I noticed about while riding, and show you some more of Arizona. So let's go check out the Desert X. All right, so this is a star white silk, is a satin white. There's one other color scheme. Let's go check it out. Look at the lineup here at On Any Moto. Whole lot of different things. But this is R22 livery. It's based off of the Audi RSQ e-tron that actually raced in the Dakar. Anyways, correct me that I'm wrong. It's fine. That's the color livery, and I quite dig it. It's pretty sweet, a little different. All right, everyone, we're out here again at On Any Moto. Thanks to these guys, this great group of people. We got the Desert X. She's looking cool. Definitely a totally different style bike for me. I'm not used to these types of motorcycles. However, I do it for you all. Sweet little display here. Let's fire this thing into life and get her going. Listen to her purr. We're in sport mode, which kind of turned off ABS, which is kind of weird, straight off the gate, but you can turn it back on. Ugh. I am 6'1", and this thing is tall. Whew, holy crap. 6'1", I am on my freaking tippy toes. Jesus. Ah, interesting. So different. So very different. Go from the R to this. I gotta remember to freaking use the right shifting pattern because I'm so used to there we go. I'm so used to using GPS shift, so I'm like, okay, 1 down, 5 up. Gotta remember how to use it. Anyways, so right away I feel like I'm sitting exactly as high as I normally stand, which is odd. This type, I don't understand these types of bikes, and they're so far outside my norm that I feel weird, but it is approachable. Oh my god, this is so strange to me. Sorry, it's the first part of this video is literally me getting used to this thing because it is by far and away very odd. So something I'm going to do later is I'm going to have someone hop on here that is a little shorter in the 5'8" range, and I'm going to have them sort of show you what it's like for someone shorter to hop on that isn't 6 foot. I said 6'1", I'm 6 foot. I'm always taller, you know how that works out? But I'm going to have them step on or hop on here and sort of show you that, yeah, this seat's tall. It's at 34.4 inches. Do the conversion to centimeters if you wish. I'll put the link, screw it, whatever. And you feel high. Like I said, I'm in headline with the driver in front of me in this F-150 or 250 Super Duty truck. That should give you an idea just how high it is. It's so weird. And I keep trying to push down to shift up. I'm all mixed up. Anyways, like initial ergonomics as you hop on this thing, comfortable, relaxed. That is exactly how I feel riding this thing. Yes, it's super weird for me, but it's not bad. Not bad any stretch. I feel there's a decent amount of wind protection, even though we're only doing just around 50. Don't worry, we'll speed it up and get see what she's all about. And there's some twisties. Like I said, we're gonna go through my favorite spot in Gates Pass. It's one of the great things about where On Any Moto is at, is their trek where they get to go and ride. it's phenomenal, because you do the 10-mile trek, or if they have a demo like this and they allow you to take it out a little further, there's a really nice road right there for you to hit. The power delivery is incredibly smooth. This thing has about 110 horsepower. Quick shifter is pretty good. I would say shifting up through the gears takes a little bit of effort. Coming back down, again, it's Ducati, and really the rev ranges are very important on this bike. You have to be in the right one, otherwise it won't do it. Jesus Christ. That, my friends, is why you cover the brakes. I'll tell you what, the throttle response is immediate. And again, I am in sport mode, so it is the full power. I'll go over all the modes here in a little bit. It's so floaty. So I like going on some of these roads because of these hills. It gives you a sensation of, you know, how loose or soft the suspension is, whether or not you're going to float over these things or you're going to just rattle your teeth out. I love that little hill. It's like a little roller coaster. Oh, if the Subaru Outback was in front of me, it'd be a lot more fun. Anyways, hey, look at that. There's a fuel gauge. Ah! Every other model than a Panigale. It's because I complain about it on the Panigale. Ducati's like, you know what, bro? You're complaining about it? No. Okay. Again, sport mode. I tell you what, that shift in this second, holy crap, man. Oh. Woo. This thing picks up a lot of speed. Brakes are good, nice Brembos. I know you guys aren't looking at this thing as a road monster, but it's a rather comfortable road bike, and it's got enough power to get up and go and to really get around these corners and be a very capable machine. Little S, some rocks, nothing big. Whoa. Change direction is really nice. I definitely don't have the confidence in it that I do something like my Panigale. Obviously totally different. So something to keep in mind between shifting bikes. Quick shifter is really good. Again, it's a little clunky, but not the worst. You got to be in the right revs, what Ducati likes. Figures. Never going slow again. I tell you, that shift from first to second is harsh, up or down. Oh my god. And I tell you what, you see this car in front of me, what do you think it smells like? Do you think it smells like a data? What are we doing? What the shit? I don't think she knew. Did you see how bad that second gear was? It doesn't matter what rev I'm in. I revved it out pretty high. I think I redlined it in first, and it did that. So I'm not sure if it's just I'm not finding the right rev range to quick shift into, but the quick shifter is on, so I mean it should be a good bit more smooth than that, but it's pretty harsh, honestly. I said brakes are solid. I don't quite trust the front end yet. I'm not sure I will. Sorry, I forgot. Told you GP shift. Man, they got people doing dumb stuff. Beautiful day though. Absolutely gorgeous day. The wind protection is pretty solid. I know it's not the best, but it's also not that type of bike. Like, yes, you can put some miles on it, you can put some bags on this thing and get a good, just make it a good all-around cruising, touring type bike. You can definitely put a lot of miles thing. The dash display, I don't know, it's kind of like a ruggedized iPhone. It's a little small in my opinion, considering, you know, some of the competition. I think it's just a little too narrow. If it was just a little wider, it'd be a little better, because everything's just kind of crunched together and looks okay. Like while riding, yeah, not the worst. But there is a glare, depending on the angle or where the sun's at. And honestly, most Ducati screens have that problem. But yeah, what a fun, you feel on top of the bike, you know, you feel like you're sitting up on the thing, and it's very noticeable. I do wish I felt a little more one within the bike. Like, I feel like I'm just going to kind of float away. I wish the suspension had a little bit more feel, but again, that's road stuff. This thing isn't meant for that. Solely meant for that, I should say. So you kind of lose some of that road feel that you might want to offset the dirt and off-road suspension settings that, you know, this thing is supposed to be able to do. Like, I wish I could go through these areas here, but it's a freaking park, so they frown upon that. It's so weird going from the bikes. Oh my god, see, that first and second gear is jolting, everything else is smooth. Light. Woo. Light. It's just, the bike is just a little too floaty for me. I want something a little more bolted down to the ground. But again, on the trails, I'm sure that's what it'll shine. I know I've read reviews that said it ate up bumps like nothing. You just kind of float across all the gravel and unevenness. I 100% guarantee that's the feeling. This bike weighs in a little over 500 pounds, and to me it really doesn't feel that bad. Like I said, I've had to shift to one side or the other to put my foot down. It's not like it's, holy crap, there's a ton of weight on my one foot. It feels really not, it doesn't feel like the weight that it is. And right now we're just cruising, and this thing is happy. Every other gear is fantastically fluid, but first to second, no matter what rev range I've been in, has been very harsh. All these crazy bicyclists. So something that I've always had, and this is a personal issue, nothing to do with the bikes, or nothing ergonomically wrong with the bike. I have tendonitis in my elbow, and bikes like this, because of the upright nature of your riding position, your elbow drops and it puts pressure on the inside of my elbow, which then puts pressure like radius through my pinky, and I very much feel that right now. I can feel it coming through my pinky, and my right hand is a little unpleasant feeling. Gonna pull out, the same chick that almost pulled off the side of the road. And unfortunately, oh, that's a tight little section. Down to second's really nice. And right now I can feel that little twinge in my pinky and elbow. So for me, these bikes, that's one of the other reasons why I don't ride these bikes all that often, don't have one. Just for me, I can't actually ride it that long a distance. Like, the Street Fighter is the position that I can do the most relaxed and not hurt my elbow. So we're just going to keep catching traffic, but so far my riding impressions are, throttle's great, the shifting from first to second is clunky for some reason. I've tried it in different revs. It is what it is. Every other gear is fantastic. I want to slow down. I want to see something. Okay, let's go and try 4,000. Nope. Let's try 6,000. Nope. Smooth out a little bit. 7,000. Nope. First to second is rough. Holy crap, man. Like, it's jarringly rough. All right, so welcome back to the shop here at On Any Moto. Going to do this last part of the review a little bit differently. Usually set up a tripod and kind of go over everything. That is a 937cc motor, and it puts out about 110 horsepower and like 63 pound-feet of torque. It's rather smooth. It has a wonderful delivery. Like I said, I mentioned while I was riding, that first and second while you're going is a little bit abrupt. I did a 3,000, 4,000, 6,000, 7,000 RPM, tried them on everyone, and they all had the same clunk. But after that, it was fine. And part of that, I believe, is because I think it has like 300 miles on it, so it's not completely broken in. So let's not hold that against it, but just something to note. So we got the Kayaba front forks here. They are lovely. As far as the ride goes, it felt a little floaty, but again, it's not set up for any specific rider. It's also meant for that off-road experience, and I do believe those would suffice and handle most terrains. And you got the Kayaba rear shock, and that, again, could be a little bit stiffer, but it all depends on how you're going to use this bike. And if it's solely for the street, I think you're missing out because, again, it's got all sorts of range. It's supposed to be a dual sport. So part of that, let's go look at the dash and see really what's going on there and some of the different riding modes. Again, I only rode in sport, so let's check out the other riding modes. All right, so now that we're in the shade, I hope you can see the screen a good bit better. Try to keep it as stable as possible. I'm not using my normal stuff, but in order to change the modes here, you see over here this little guy, hold mode down, and you'll see that the riding mode changes. And you can change between sport, urban, touring, wet, enduro, and rally. So Ducati says that rally and enduro are both meant for off-roading. Wet makes sense, it's for wet roads. You'll also see the wheel control, DTC, the traction control, the quick shifter's on, ABS is at its highest setting, there's only 3, and engine braking control. So you'll see those change. We'll go to touring. You'll see the wheelie control go down a little bit, traction control go down. Urban, you see a little bit different there. Sport is where things get a little interesting. I actually adjusted this because the ABS there was on 1, which actually turned the rear ABS off. And for the street, I don't know, on my super bikes, I leave them off, but on these types of bikes, I like to leave them on. Just personal preference. But you see the power there says full, urban's medium, touring's high, wet's obviously medium, enduro's high. You notice how the difference between enduro says high and rally says full. So high is, you know, almost full power delivery, but it's a little more tame. So those are the riding modes, something you can change if you really wanted to. Come over here again, hold this up. And what that'll do is let you choose whether in the settings menu or the chrono. Obviously the chrono's your stopwatch. You can turn that on or off. It's a pretty basic menu, I would say. I do think it takes a little bit to get through and find everything, but once you do, it's pretty straightforward. So go to riding mode. Like I said, I changed some of sports setting. So you go to power, you see the different settings you have there. High power allows your throttle response to be a little more smooth. Medium, you have a little mid power and it's a smooth delivery. And then low, obviously, it's low power, but what's interesting, it goes to dynamic, which I find kind of odd. I feel like I would still want that to be smooth, but hey, is what it is. We kind of go through urban. You see all the different settings. I really like these screens. They're nice laid out. They have some good symbology, and the graphics are pretty up to date with what you'd expect on a modern bike here. I do like the fuel display level. You can see a range. That's about it. Daytime running lights. If you want to set up a theme, interesting. Light, dark, and auto. So there's the light setup. We'll go back. I kind of want to see what that looks like. Let's go through tire, turn indicator, language, units, trip. And there you go. There's your light setup. I wonder if this is any better out in the sun. The dark was supposedly better, but not really. It definitely still had some glare to it. But yeah, your Desert X has it's like I said, it's almost an iPhone in a rugged case, and it's not that big. I wish it was a little bit better and a little wider. I think if the screen actually came out to here and here, it would have made it a little bit nicer and easier to read the layout. I know this is simplistic, but everything seems squished. Okay, so it's sort of to demonstrate the height of this bike. Again, it's 34.4 inches tall, the seat height is. I got Corey here. How tall are you, Corey?
I am 5'7" and a quarter.
He's 5 foot nothing. So no, he's gonna sit. He's gonna check it out. He's a serviceman. He's hooked me up so many times and done such a great job. But we got to give him crap because I mean, look at him. He's such a sweet guy. Anyways, he's gonna sit on this, and you guys are gonna see sort of that it really doesn't matter your height. You can make this bike work for you.
Kind of. Typically, you want to put your ass cheek. Oh, sorry, didn't say that.
Typically, you want to what?
Put your butt cheek on the left side, right there.
Yeah, yeah.
You can kick up the kickstand if your legs are long enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Usually, but yeah, for the most part.
It's definitely shifting your butt from one side to the other in order to make.
So easier is to get on it with the kickstand. That's usually the best thing to do because you can kind of get it. This is the biggest process, is switching legs.
Yep, especially if you're trying to shift at a light. I've noticed that. Keeping your rear brake with your right foot down, or right foot on the brake and your left foot down.
Yep.
While in gear,
Which is pretty easy once you get your butt cheek over. But when you're starting to ride, the suspension helps out.
Yeah,
Getting to stop becomes easier every now and then. So
this is definitely a bike that the shorter people have to do a little bit of gymnastics. Wow, can't even say that word. This is definitely a bike where the shorter people will need to do some gymnastics moves, maybe some pommel horse, if you will, to shift from side to side, but it is manageable. You can definitely ride this thing no matter what height you are. So hope that helps if you're under 6 foot and looking at a bike this tall. Definitely doable. So now that I'm out of the sun and not squinting so much, I can take the glasses off and I can look at you. The brakes on this thing are really good. The Brimbos have a very strong bite. Nothing, you know, insane as far as superbike power goes, but they are very noticeable and I can lean on them. I do think the suspension is a bit floaty and a little looser than I would like. However, I understand the purpose, and the street is not where this thing is the absolute pinnacle. It can do street, and I imagine with the way this felt that it'll be very good also off-road. I hope you all enjoy this video. It's a little bit different type of review than what I normally do, but hey, it's a Desert X. Can't really go wrong riding something like this. It's sort of an everyday thing that you could also decide to go take off-road. Once again, thanks to On Any Moto for letting me take this beast out. It is a demo bike for them, so if you are in the area, definitely check them out and take this thing out yourself and see what she's all about. Hope you all enjoy this one. Definitely come back for the next one. We'll see you around. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.